Hey class, welcome to my tutorial on using the program called Smore.com that we're using to make our cyberbullying posters. First thing you want to do is use Google Chrome. Go ahead and open your Google Chrome app. Then you're going to start by going to your home page. Go ahead and click on that home button. I added a tile. If you go 4 tiles over, you're going to see one that says Cyberbullying Symbol. I want you to click on that. This is where you're going to find a lot of different resources for finding the information for your posters. You're going to find things like statistics right here, cyberbullying versus bullying, because one of the pieces of information that you need for your project is a difference between face-to-face bullying and cyberbullying. A lot of these other tiles here are going to have information about preventing bullying, so you have a lot of good information here. And then you also have my example poster that I made using Smore.com right here, which has almost all the requirements to get a perfect grade on your poster. But let's go back to cyberbullying Symbol page here, and we're going to click on one tile down. It says Smore.com. This is the page you're going to see once you click on that. And the first thing you're going to want to do is click on Login. Now, if you remember from that sheet that I handed out that we looked at together, it's our rubric and has all the information for this project, what your requirements are, how to get a great grade on this. It says that our username is my email, booza@mmsaonline.org, and we should all know our password because it's the same password to get onto our computers, A1S2D3, and go ahead and click on Login to Smore. Now you have a couple different things at the top. One says upgrade. That's if we want to pay for an account. We don't really want to do that. New flyers, when you're ready to start a new flyer, you haven't started one yet. Your flyers is after you've already started one, you saved it, you want to go back and find it. There's our notifications. This is about the account if you want to log out. I'm going to have you go ahead and click on new flyer. And you have some different options here, different types of flyers you want to do. We're going to do a poster, and it doesn't really list that, and we're going to try to start from scratch. So to start from scratch, we need to use other. I'm going to just type in poster because it wants to know what we're using it for. And we're using it to make a poster. Then click on start from blank. Now, there's a couple things we're going to look at here. First thing I want you to do is give it a title. So you're going to click on that where it says click to edit title. I'm going to click here. And I already gave an example of a title. My example I used for the poster I made says don't get cyberbullied. So I'm going to use the same one just because you can't use that title and I don't want to give you too many that you can't use. Don't get cyberbullied. Subtitle. If you look at your sheet, you're going to notice the requirement says that you have to have your first name and your last initial for both people that are in a group, or if you're working by yourself, just put yours. So don't put your full last name. You don't want to put your full first and last name online because, like we said, that's a safety concern. It's part of our cyber safety, our internet safety. You don't want to give out private information, so we're just going to use our first name and last initial because this is online. People can see it. So when you're done with that, you're going to click on Done. And if you ever wanted to edit it, if you didn't like how it looked, you could just click on Edit. And maybe I wanted to put an exclamation mark at the end instead. And now I want to click on Done. You'll notice there's a red line under cyberbullied. It's not really a word that's in the dictionary. It's a newer term that came out with the internet, came along with the internet. So it's not really going to be in the dictionary. It's how you spell it though. I'm going to click on Done. Now the next thing I want to look at is down here, changing the design. The design is this whole background back here. And it's the colors, it's the fonts, it's all that stuff combined. All this type of stuff goes into design. So I'm going to change it from modern. I'm going to try vintage. Change my background. I don't really like the background they had, so I'm just going to use something that just kind of goes. I'm going to use this as my background. I kind of like how that looks. Colors, it's fall. I think I'm going to use orange. I kind of like the fall colors. Fonts, I'm going to try this Wisdom. You'll notice that if you change the design, each design is going to have a different background option, different color options, and different font options. This is very, very customizable. You can make it pretty much exactly how you want it. You can't really be disappointed in this. So this first box I have here is a text box. If I wanted to edit this, I could just click on it. But I'm going to click on cancel, and I'm going to delete this by clicking on the X, and then I'm going to click remove. Because I'm going to show you how to do that from scratch. You have this toolbox down here that gives you a bunch of different tools you can use for Smore.com. One of them that we're going to use is text. The other one we're going to use is picture. We're not really going to use any of the other ones on Smore.com, not this time. So let's start with text. Well, one thing that we need, if you look at your rubric, is we have to have statistics. So I'm going to start my statistics part right here. Just type in statistics. And then down here, I'm just going to bold so it stands out and say statistic 1. Statistic 1. And this is where you would actually type your statistic. I'm just going to put type your statistic here. You would put an actual statistic, obviously, but I'm not going to give away any more examples. Plus, you can't use the statistics in my example. So this is where you would type statistic 2 because you need 2 statistics total. It's a lot of S's there. It's a tongue twister. Type your second statistic here. Then, of course, you need your citation. And you would put that down. That would be your website. When you're finished with that, you would go ahead and click on Done. You'll notice on mine it looks very similar. I have my title. I made a different background. And I have my first section says statistics. I have statistic 1. Statistic 2, statistic 1 and 2, those subtitles, they are bold. And then I have my statistics in quotation marks because I copy them directly from the internet. And I have my citation where I found those. If you click on that citation, you'll find those exact same phrases. Okay, there's 2 different ways to add pictures. You can add thumbnail pictures or the larger pictures. First, we're going to look at adding thumbnail pictures. You're going to notice when I hover my mouse over this text, I have arrows. If I click to the arrow to the right, it's going to give me a thumbnail picture to put on the right. If I click it again, it's going to put my thumbnail picture on the left. And if I click it one more time, it's just going to get rid of it. So if I wanted to add a picture, first I have to save a picture. So I'm going to open a brand new tab at the top of my Google Chrome, and I'm going to go to google.com and I'm going to type in cyberbullying. I'm going to want to go to images at the top, find a picture that I really like. Cyberbullying affects real lives. Now this is an appropriate picture. There are some pictures that are inappropriate that if you're looking at this page, you don't want to use everything that there is here. Some things are maybe too violent, like this picture I wouldn't want you to use, or some things have some inappropriate words on them that I wouldn't want you to use, kind of like this picture here. So this one's definitely appropriate. Cyberbullying affects real lives. That's true. I'm going to right click with my mouse, click Save Image As. Now this can be tricky because there's one that says Save Link As, but that's not the one we want to use. Save Image As. Right now I'm in Pictures. That's where I want to be. So I'm just going to click Pictures again just to make sure. And then I'm going to say, I'm just going to put Affects Real Lives so I can remember what I saved it as. I'm going to click on Save. Go back to my s'more that I'm making. Click on the camera. Do you remember where I saved it to? I do. I saved it to Pictures. Do you remember what I named it? That's important too. I remember what I named it. I remember it. Naming it Affects Real Lives. I'll click on that. Click on Open. And it's going to import that picture right into your poster. Now the second way to add a picture is to click on Picture. And you have 2 options. You have a photo gallery, which is going to add multiple pictures. But I only need 2 pictures, so I already have one up here. I'm just going to make my second one down here. But my other picture has to be different. So I'm going to find a different picture and go back up to the top. And I'm going to search for something different this time. Instead, this time, let me search for cyberbullying facts. I actually like a lot of these pictures that are up here. Most of them are pretty appropriate, so that's really good. This one has a lot of information. I like how informational this one is right here. It says cyberbullying facts. I'm actually going to click on that. Now this won't count for your statistics. You actually have to put 2 separate statistics in this picture if you're going to use a picture that has statistics in it. But remember I said I'm going to say right click, save image as. This one I'm going to put cyberbullying statistics. And I'm in Pictures, just where I said I wanted to be. click on it just to make sure, and I'm going to click on save. I'm going to go back to my S'more, click on add picture where the camera is, click on the big camera now, and I remember I saved it to pictures. Do you remember what I named it? I do. Statistics. Cyberbullying statistics. It's right here. Click on it. Click on open. And I have my second picture. Now, you can come back and watch this video as many times as you need to because there's a lot of good information on here for the requirements to get a great grade on this. How to add text, how to add pictures, your title, your subtitle, the design of the page. Of course, this is not going to give you everything you need to know because you need to go research that information and make sure you get that to put in your poster. But a lot of the how-to stuff is actually in this video. So I'm glad you guys watched. Hopefully it was helpful. And like I said, watch this as many times as you need to when you're kind of lost and you don't remember how to do something.